Good morning, algebra students. Today we're going to begin lesson 4.1. If you'd open your textbooks to that page, it's called the factorization of expressions in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c. So you'd have three constants. The first two are connected with a variable, and the first variable is squared. So, please take these notes. First of all, consider the expansion of x plus 1 times x plus 2. Now, we've done this already, so we distribute first x times the x plus 2, and then the positive 1 times the x plus 2. In doing that, we end up with x times x is x squared, x times positive 2 is positive 2x, positive 1 times x is positive x, and positive 1 times positive 2 is positive 2. We combine our x's. Nothing, x squared stays by itself. Combining the x's, we have 3x, positive 3x, and then positive 2. So we're at this form that we introduced at the beginning in the title. We have our situation of ax squared plus bx plus c. Now, consider the reverse of this problem. Say you're given this problem, x squared plus 3x plus 2, and we want to reverse the situation. We want to factorize it. So you write it in the form of x plus p times x plus q, where p and q are integers. That's what you want to get to. So we need to factorize that expression to get back to x plus 1, 1 being the variable p, times x plus 2, 2 being the variable q. Those are the notes. Now, please take out the sheet. The book has a method of factorizing that, quite frankly, is time-consuming and quite confusing. So in our book, we have this alternative method called Extend Your Learning Curve, and I copied it right out of my teacher's manual, and I'm giving it to you because this is a very simple way of doing what takes many pages to learn in our book that I think are quite time-consuming and also confusing. So we are told at the top of this sheet that we want to factorize x squared plus x minus 12. So the first thing you do in this method, which is called the cross method of factorization, is we actually make a lopsided cross. So without the numbers, this is the cross. So we place the first and the third terms, the x squared and the negative 12 of the expression, in the cross as shown. So you have it right there. So that's our first step. We take the first and third term and put it in the cross. Continuing on, in the second step, now remember, we already have x squared and negative 12 in the cross. The second step is represented by the red values that I put in here. Get this up here. There we go. So I just put the original expression at the top so we know what we're doing. So again, the first step was putting the first and the third terms in the cross as thus. Now, for each of these terms, we're going to write a pair of factors that would, when multiplied together, end up being that term. So, of course, x squared, the only way you can do it is go x times x. That's x squared. One way of doing negative 12 would be a negative 2 times a positive 6. Now remember, a negative answer, you're going to have, one is going to be positive, one's going to be, one's positive, one's negative. Okay, this is one set of factors that it could be. So we're going to try it. So at this point, now this looks kind of crazy, but bear with me, it's very simple once you get the hang of it. You're going to cross multiply the factors. That means I'm going to take x times the positive 6 and write it on this side of the cross, which is 6x. Then I'm going to go x times the negative 2, which is negative 2x. And then in this third column, I'm going to add the two values. Negative 2x and 6x is 4x. So I get the sum of my cross multiplications in there. So that's all in the third step. Now the fourth step, I have to double check to see if my sum, which in this case is 4x, is equal to the x term of the original quadratic equation, so that middle term. And as you can see, the middle term is just x, and x is not equal to 4x. So in this case, if it's not equal, we got to repeat our first three steps with different factors. In this case, that would come to the constant term negative 12. So there's two choices. So here I go. My first walkthrough will be x times x is x squared. There's nothing more we can do with x's. That's going to probably be it. But to get negative 12, I could do negative 1 times positive 12. Now I do my crosses. X times positive 12 is positive 12x. Now notice, I write the answer right across from that positive 12 because that's where I end up with when I multiply them. Then x times negative 1 is negative 1x. Okay, I come up with 11x. Now I know I'm shooting for plain x, so this isn't going to work. The only other set of factors is negative 3 and 4. Now I could go negative 4 and 3, but that's not going to work ultimately. But negative 3 and 4 is going to work. And so I go x times 4 is 4x, x times negative 3 is negative 3x. I add them together, I have a positive x. If it were reversed, I'd have a negative x. And of course, negative x would not be the same as positive x. So my positive number, I wanted it to be higher. And I wanted the difference only to be 1 because I have to end up with 1x. As you do this, you're going to get a feel for what factors to use to ultimately end up having this value, once all is said and done, be equal to that middle term of the original equation. So this is a match. This is the one we're going to use. So to finish it up, here we go. Just had to get my bearings a minute. So I just recopied what was on the bottom of the page. So now I'm going to use the one that matches, which is this one, and I am going to use the first two rows to give me the factors of my quadratic equation. So now I'm not going to look at the crosses. I'm just going to go straight across. So that's x negative 3 and x positive 4. So x negative 3 times x positive 4 is the solution to x squared plus x minus 12. When you factorize it, is x negative 3 times x positive 4. Then they go along at the bottom of that sheet and show two more examples. And they show you the right set of factors, so they don't go through the struggle of trying the different factors. But let's just take a look. So here's one with x squared. Now in the middle I have 12x instead of just plain x, so that's bumped up considerably, and negative 45. So off to the side, I first put x squared and negative 45 here, and that would be all I'd have. And then for x squared, I put x times x. And now negative 45, I need to end up with a positive 12. So whatever I multiply by to get that negative, remember I got to go positive, negative to get a negative. I'm going to make sure my positive number is higher. In this case, I'm going to choose positive 15 and negative 3 because when I subtract those, put them together, it is a positive 12. Therefore, I'm going to use what goes across here, x plus 15 times x minus 3. Now remember, I got these by going the crosses. X times negative 3 is negative 3x, and x times positive 15 is positive 15x. I did not repeat those things. And then I added them together and got the 12x, which matches that middle thing. And that's how I factorize that. Now, look at this. Our first value isn't just simply x squared. It's going to be 6x squared. That's a new monkey in the wrench there. So 6x squared minus 7x minus 20 is what I do. So I put down my 6x squared here and my negative 20 there. And I'm just going to go 3x times 2x is 6x squared. Then 20, I got to end up with a negative number here, and it's negative here, so it's positive, negative. And I have to have a higher negative. Well, I'm starting off with positive 4 and negative 5 and hope it works, because now I have these to contend with. So remember, I do my crosses. Start here. 3x times negative 5x is negative 15x, and 2x times positive 4 is positive 8x. I join these together, and positive 8x and negative 15x is a negative 7x, which matches what I need it to match. Now I'm going to use, for my factors, I'm just going to go straight across from each other right here. So that's 3x positive 4 times 2x negative 5, and that, therefore, that is my answer. So this is all on the sheet. I explained it going through. You wrote it down. Even though it's on the sheet, you write this all down, because seeing it and writing it and hearing it helps you learn it. Now we're going to have a very unusual lesson. It takes a while to get these steps down. So in your lesson, we're not even going to go to the exercise. We are just going to go within that lesson. And I want you to use this sheet and the notes to do try it number 1, try it number 2, and try it number 3. And those 3 problems are your whole lesson. I'm going to be looking to see this. And of course, you may have to do these steps once, twice, maybe 3 times to come up with the right set of factors in the second column, to make sure that when all is said and done, that the second terms match. Okay, thank you. Do good math. And please ask if you have any questions or rewatch the video. Make sure you get all the notes in your notebook. This will be invaluable to you when the quiz time comes along. Okay, thank you.